Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Microscope Beauty. Before we dive into the decluttering, here is what my collection looks like before. There's stuff kind of all over the place. And I also keep all of my palettes in a drawer as well. So we're gonna go through my palettes and all of my main makeup. If you're wondering where I got my organizational drawers from, there will be a link to an Amazon listing in the description below. So let's get into this decluttering. I think you're gonna notice from this video that I do try to keep things quite minimal in my collection, and I try not to get too overboard, but I still need to destash and I still need to keep it to a minimum of things that I know I will actually get usage out of. So this first drawer is all of my primers, and right away I'm going to get rid of this one. I've had it for quite a while and just haven't used it, but I think I'll keep the other three. I haven't really given this one a shot yet from Strivectin, so I want to see what this one's all about, and these two are my absolute favorite primers, so definitely keeping those around. This next drawer has all of my concealers and eye primers. I'm hoping through this destash I'll be able to move out my eye primers into a different section. I only have two eye primers. They're right here. This one is the Kat Von D High Voltage Eye Primer, and then I have the Urban Decay one. The Kat Von D is way thicker, more of like a full-on one, but I really like that if I'm trying to do like a night out look. And then the Urban Decay is more of an everyday one. So these are all of my concealers. I really enjoy concealers. It's definitely something that I like playing around with, and I have quite a few of them, but I don't use these two IT Cosmetics ones, so I'm going to part with those. So the rest of these concealers are ones that I definitely use often, so it's going to be kind of hard to pick and choose, but this one is my favorite one. It's the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. I use that one quite often. And then I also use this Glossier Stretch Concealer quite often as well, so keeping that one. I just recently rediscovered this Bye Bye Under Eye Concealing Pot, so I think I want to keep that one and give it more of a go. I really like this Urban Decay All Nighter one. It's a lot thicker and drier, but it is really full coverage, so I think I'll keep that one. I think I will part with this Kat Von D one. It's too similar to the other ones that I don't really see like a reason to use it or hang on to it. Plus, it's one of the oldest ones I have in my collection. Then I'm going to keep these other two. This one is really good for full coverage, and then I really like this one for brightening by IT Cosmetics. This next one is where things get kind of weird. It has eyeliners, but also like lip pencils and lip liners and liquid lipsticks. So I figured we'd just go through it this way. I really like this Too Faced Melted Liquid Lipstick, so I'm going to keep that one. But I think I actually am going to say goodbye with this one. It's Lolita. I think it's the Everlasting Liquid Lipstick by Kat Von D. I just don't use it that often. It's very hard for me to apply, and I don't like how it wears over time. So we're going to say goodbye to that. This Neutrogena Moisture Smooth Color Stick in 110 I just got, and I really like the color of it, so I'm going to hang on to that one. I love Grandest Grape for fall, so I'm going to keep this Clinique one around. I do have quite a few liners that I just don't reach for, so I'm going to get rid of this Bite sample. I haven't used that at all. I also have not worn this NARS Cruella lip pencil either, so I'm going to part with that. A lot of these I'm going to part with. I just don't seem to use them. This one is definitely dried out by now, this Maybelline Master Precise. I'm going to keep this IT Superhero liner. I haven't really given it that big of a go yet, so try that one out some more. This Maybelline Curvitude liner is fantastic. I love this one. It's my favorite one to use when I'm doing like false lashes, so we're going to keep that one around. This lip pencil in Rush is my favorite one, so I'll keep that. I also think I'm going to keep this Red by Maybelline, as well as this like pinky one by Maybelline, so I have a couple of options for that. Then I also want to keep a berry liner, so I'll keep this Maybelline one too. But then I think the only like eye pencil I want to keep, well, is this MAC one in Teddy, but also the Stila one. The Stila liners are my favorite eyeliners. This one is the Smudge Stick in Damsel. I love this for like everyday lining, so I'm going to keep this one around. And I think that's going to be it. I think I'm going to say goodbye to the rest of these. Here are all of my mascaras and eyebrow products, and I'm definitely keeping my superhero mascara. This is my favorite mascara. I really like the Urban Decay Perversion one as well, but this is the one I'm currently using. I will be getting rid of this Lash Sensational one. It's definitely too old. It's got a weird funky smell going on with it. And I'm going to get rid of this Tightline one here. The rest of the products I'm going to keep though. I have been loving the Glossier Boy Brow. I've finally figured out how to use it, so I've been really enjoying that. I like this Brow Power Pomade when I'm using the powder, which is like my go-to brow product right now. And then I also really like this IT Cosmetics version, like the pencil version of it. So I'm keeping everything, keeping it all. So these are all of my foundations. I do have some like color variations of a few of them, so when I'm lighter or darker, but this is the bulk of my foundations, which I'm very proud of. And I love all of them. They're very similar. There's just some like slight variations between them. This one to me is very like standard tinted moisturizer. You want some coverage, but nothing crazy. It doesn't have any like glowing properties. It isn't matte. It's just a very like solid tinted moisturizer. This one from IT Cosmetics is much more dewy, but I find that it sits really nicely on the skin, but I think I prefer the Bare Minerals one lately. My skin has been super dry, and this is even more dewy and bright, and like it's more of a mousse texture, so this one has a little bit of a thicker coverage. This one is an actual foundation, so it has a lot more coverage than the rest of them, but it still has a nice like satin finish, but it also has a bit of dewiness to it. I think this one by IT Cosmetics is the one I'm actually going to get rid of. This is their Confidence in a Compact. Right now I've been doing the fair color, but it's a bit too dry for me. It has the foundation on the inside, but it's not a liquid, so it's a bit more dry, and I have a really hard time getting this to look nice on my skin lately since it has gotten so dry. I did enjoy it when I had a bit more like oil in my skin, but lately it's just not been looking that well. Now on to lipsticks, and I think there are a few stragglers in my purse here or there, but this is the bulk of my lipsticks, and I definitely know quite a few that I'm going to say goodbye to. I wear a lot of mauves and like neutral pinky shades, so let's do the lipsticks I know I'm gonna keep first. This one is Twig. It's my favorite lipstick. I wear it so often. Definitely keeping that. I'm also going to keep Captive, which is a darker version to me of Twig with a little bit more like maroon in it. Then there's Sea Sheer, which is a really nice like pinky, orangey, like summer shade that looks really flattering. And then I have two Syrups, which was my favorite first MAC lipstick. It's much more soft and neutral of a like purpley mauve, so I'm keeping both of those. I also have this Cream Sheen in Crosswires that I always forget about, but it's a really nice, almost reddy pink. They're all kind of in the same color family. I will be getting rid of this Ignite. I just don't like the matte quality of it. I'm not a fan of matte lipsticks that much. They have to be super hydrating. A lot of the Urban Decay ones are neutral colors. I love Back Talk. It is actually a comfort matte. So it wears like a matte, but is a little bit more hydrating. This one's really nice. I have no idea why this one is still here. It's basically like full on glitter fest. Like, look at that thing. That is crazy. I do really like these old school Urban Decay like Revolution ones. This is all that I have left of Rush. And then I also have Fiend, which is more of like a pinky version. This one by Bite is called Pepper. It reminds me a lot of Twig, but it has a bit more of a like a slippery feeling on the lip. I'm gonna keep this one. I am gonna get rid of this IT Cosmetics. I think this one's the Je ne sais quoi. It's really pretty and a nice color, but the texture is really weird. It's kind of like a lip balm, but I find it's just too slippery on the lips and it kind of goes all over the place. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. But I am going to keep this one by Urban Decay. It's Naked. You can tell I really like a color family. I am going to keep a couple of like berries and some reds. I love 714 or 714 by Urban Decay. It's a really nice red for my skin tone. Then I also have this red. This one is Wonderland, and it's a bit more plum, like burgundy vibe to it, so I'll keep that one too. This one is a collaboration Urban Decay did, and it's called Bun Bun. It's another comfort matte, and it's a really nice, dark, sophisticated color. So I really have been enjoying this one if I want something a little bit more deeper. This Urban Decay one is called Fuel, and it is a bit more like brownie orange. And it also reminds me a lot of Cake by Glossier. To me, this is more like a lip balm. This color does not show that much on my lips, but I just got it recently, so I think I'll keep it around. Rocksteady is a very deep, like vampy burgundy, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think I'll pass on that one. I just don't think it's a color I'm gonna wear, and I'm also not really into this Bold Berry by e.l.f. It just, they're too bold for me. I'm not that bold of a berry person. I will be getting rid of this Scorched one. It's too like brown for my skin tone. It's really pretty lipstick though. This one is called Stark Naked. It's another neutral. I really enjoy this neutral. I've been trying to get into more like super nude neutral colors. So this one, though, is a little bit too light. Then these last two lipsticks, I think I'll probably keep. This one is super fun. It's called Marigold, and it's this really bright orangey red. I really like this one from Elizabeth Arden. And then this one is by Maybelline, and this one is called Born With It. And it's also, you know, traditional pinky neutral mauve, classic Kayla. This last drawer is all of my blushes, my contour powders, my highlighters, and my like setting powders. I told you guys, don't have that much going on here. I do have quite a few blushes though, so let's go through this stuff first. There's actually more into this bin. I really like this It Cosmetics like redness powder. I think it's a really nice shade, so I'm gonna keep that one. And I haven't really given this illuminating powder that much go yet, so I think I'll see if there's any difference between these two. This is my only highlighter. It's the Mary Luminizer one. I think it's a really nice like gold color, but it's not too like bright or shimmery. It's really subtle, so I'm gonna keep that. I have two blushes by It Cosmetics that get really dirty. I think I might... I don't know. I need to open all my blushes and see what's up. So I'm definitely keeping this one by Revlon. It's a lovely wine color. I really enjoy that for the fall. But I think I'll keep this one. It's called Party. They have it in a larger size, but this one was like their birthday one from Tarte. I like that one. I also have a palette that has a lot of really nice blushes in it as well. I love this like dusty rose color here. I think I'll keep this one. It's called Peaceful by Tarte. And I'll keep this It Cosmetics one over this Tarte one. I just don't wear that Tarte one that often. And then I think I'll part with this one too. I've had this one for so long. I was so attached to it for such a long time, but I think I'm actually going to say goodbye to it, crazily enough. Everything that's left are just some single eyeshadows and my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder. Love this stuff. I'm probably going to get it into a darker shade for summer, but as far as these single eyeshadows go, they just don't work for me. These two did not work for me at all, and I love this Stila one in Kitten. Definitely keeping that around. So it's time to tackle palettes, and I have quite a few. So I'm just going to put out a few at a time and decide through that collection which ones I want to keep. So for this grouping, Back Talk, this new Urban Decay palette, is my favorite in a really long time. It has these gorgeous blushes on one side, and then it has some like really awesome rose-colored shadows on the other side. Definitely keeping this one. I also really like this Naked Heat palette. I think it has a really good selection of matte shades. I'm a big fan of matte, so keeping that one as well. I will be getting rid of this like collaboration one. I don't find that I use this type of product that often. I like my singular options more, so I will be parting with this. But this like mini palette in the same collaboration has some really awesome shades. I really like Daydream and Subscribe. In this group, the Lorac Pro palette is probably by far my favorite palette of all time. It's so dirty and so used, but I use this almost on a daily basis. I have to convince myself to use other ones, so definitely keeping this old but tried and true one around, and I have been enjoying this Rimmel one, but it has just a lot of shades that I can find in other palettes. Like, we haven't even got to the Naked palettes yet, so I think I might pass this along to a niece or something so that they can use it and get more usage out of it than I am. This was my first contour palette. I really liked this shade, but I am loving the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder lately. So I don't know. I might keep it and try to see if it works for me in summer. Maybe let's do that. I think that's a good idea. So now on to the Naked palettes. And the thing is, I have a really hard time parting with them because I have the entire collection, and there's just something about having the entire collection that you just can't seem to part with it. So there you go. I'm keeping them. I'm keeping them. I still use them quite regularly. I really like the original palette, and the smoky palette has some really good options beyond just doing like smoke stuff. I really like trying to branch out. Of course, these are like my faves over there. So I can't stop myself. Going to be a lot more ruthless with this group though. I loved the idea of this like confidence in your glow product. It's really pretty. There were a couple that came out that I really liked for like a week, and then I forgot about them and stopped using them. I tend to do my own like combination of bronzer slash contour slash blush, so I think I'm gonna part with this. This palette by Urban Decay is gorgeous. It has some really fun, awesome colors, but they're not colors that I find myself wearing ever. So I haven't used this at all, so I think I'll part with this as well. Next up is the Urban Decay Vice Lip Palette, which at first I thought was a really cool idea. The colors in there are ones that I love, like Back Talks in here, lots of really awesome colors, but no one ever really uses a lip palette. Like, I'm not taking this in my purse and like whipping it out in the car or anything, so it's just not really a practical palette for me. And then I tried this LA Colors eyeshadow, and they are just not the greatest shadows. I'm still trying to hunt around in the drugstore for some good palettes with good eyeshadows, so let me know your recommendations, but I'm just not crazy about this one. And the last palette is this guy. Super cool, super shiny, tons of metallic shades. It's such an awesome palette, and I think I need to use it more because a lot of the time right now I'm on the surface, and so I'm trying to get past that like chunky glitter. I don't know why people decide that that's what should be on the top of a palette, but once I get past that, I think these colors over here are going to be really awesome. So I think I will hold on to this for a little bit longer. Maybe it'll get cut in the next destash. So there you guys have it, my makeup collection slash declutter video with a lot of mini reviews thrown in. I try to keep my stash as minimal and purposeful as possible, but it does kind of get a little out of hand here and there, so I like to do this every couple of months to make sure I have all of the makeup that I love and that I will be using. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this destash video, and let me know in the comments what some of your makeup declutter tricks are. Is there a certain like time frame you try to declutter in? Let me know all of that down below. Also, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me every single week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.